What's going on, troopers? Welcome to the Trooper Transmission. And today we got one of the coolest members, Delta Squad shirt rocking, Christina coming in, talking all things troopers, working out, and probably some other fun stuff too. So thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
First question, favorite Star Wars quote of all time? Putting you on the hot seat with a curveball.
Ooh, that's a toughie. Um, Favorite Star Wars quote. In my book, experience outranks everything.
Hey, love that. Love that. I got to pull him out. He's hiding somewhere. I got my Captain Rex somewhere. That's a great quote. And to that point, let's talk about your experience and what you've been doing inside Fit Nerd Academy and really the progress you've made. But I always like to start what inspired you to join this group of nerds working out, following a even weirder dude that wears helmets while he works out. What was going on in your world a year ago that inspired you to join?
Well, a year ago, we finally decided to not have any more kids. So that was great because I was exhausted. We have three. And I realized that I really put my life on pause with, getting pregnant, having babies, and not trying to lose so much weight because I was really worried about, you know, uh, like milk intake that I could provide for my kids.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that was just maybe excuses I made for myself or like, I'm not ready yet. I don't want to take the time. I just really want to focus on my kids. And then it happened during the pandemic after I had my third one. I literally was just lying down in bed and I felt this tremendous pressure on my chest where I was like, I feel like I can't breathe. And I just feel that I was really unhealthy and that something had to change. So this happened like 2020 or 2021. So I invested in a Peloton. I started doing, all of that, but it was just me by myself. My husband couldn't be on the bike the same time as me. So it was kind of hard to have an accountability partner. It was also during the pandemic time where I actually got to watch all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars because I had the time.
Nice.
And I got really into it, got my kids really into it. And so I started getting these uh feeds in my algorithm, like, like the Clone Trooper helmets and all that stuff. So I started following someone who does they make helmets, they build the droids. And I think because of that, I don't know how Instagram figured this out. I like Star Wars. I'm looking to exercise. Your page came across my Instagram algorithm as well, my Instagram feed. And so I always like looked at him like, oh, that's cool, but it's really not me right now. Like I like getting on my bike. I like doing that. I really don't want to invest in, buying weights and strength training wasn't really my thing. But I think eventually it was just over and over again. I don't know why your page just continued to show up on my feed. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna do one workout and see how this is.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I realized maybe I do prefer strength training more than cardio because at that time it's been, several years when I was doing a Peloton. I had a great system, but it did kickstart my I guess wellness journey, but it wasn't making enough strides for me. Um, and I was sweating a lot and I don't really enjoy sweating that much or doing cardio. And so I realized, wow, these trooper exercises I really do love. I love doing these strength training exercises. I showed my husband, I'm like, hey, this whole dad bod thing, not that you have a dad bod, but is this something that you want to do together? And he was actually really interested in it as well. And we just love that, you're wearing your helmet, you're not, talking to us.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things about the Peloton exercise. Like, I can't stand, um, them talking all the time, right? Like, I just want to listen to music, do the movements, and be done with it. And so that was great to just watch the videos and follow along with the movement and do it. And he really got into it where we would do it together. And I think that really helped building like consistency for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned a lot of really interesting topics. My wife's got a 9-month-old, so I totally get the, hey, I want to make sure that baby and that process and that journey is fully taken care of. And so kudos for you. But then also kudos for you for being like, okay, cool, let's make a change. And you went on that journey. And I'd be curious what Meta or Facebook thinks. They're like, all right, we got this one guy that does Star Wars and workout, so let's just send him to everyone because I hear that all the time. They're like, somehow my algorithm found this, and I'm like, to be fair, if you like those two things, the Venn diagram's only so big. I wonder if it was J Guy Hunter. You're talking about droids and
It
helmets.
was. It
Yeah,
was,
because
yeah.
he's done a lot of helmets for our community members, and so that's funny that that's what brought it all full circle. And so you start doing the trooper workouts. I'd be curious, what of the series is your favorite?
My favorite is the ARC Trooper. So I've done it twice already, and I think we want to do it again after the whole Django Fit one.
Okay, cool. So you're doing Django Fit now, or getting ready to start
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
yeah.
cool, awesome.
Well, you need to plop it on my calendar, so we've been just doing it on our side.
Well, yeah. Side note, we got to get that all up on YouTube. It's going live right now. Once it's on YouTube, then the software can bring it in. It can't happen until
Awesome.
it's live though, so that'll happen ASAP.
Cool.
So then, next question. You mentioned you did Peloton, and that was getting you sweaty, and it was a good start on your fitness journey. What do you think was missing from just like a results side of things? What's been your experience in terms of like either the tactics or strategies, things that you changed or shifted, whether that was mentally perspective on wise or actually the things you were doing that enabled you to start seeing the results that you wanted?
So number one was accountability, right? With Peloton, I'm just doing this on my own. But with, the Trooper workouts, I can do with my husband. And number two, I think it's consistency. And because you plopped in all the exercises on the calendar for me, I don't have to think. I'm like, oh, today I do this video, tomorrow I rest. And all the videos, it's lined out where it's like upper body, lower body. So different parts of my body can be worked on. Whereas for Peloton, I didn't really have a guidance. It's more like, well, I went hard yesterday. I'm just gonna do, a low impact one. I don't really have time. I'm just going to do a 20-minute one or, so it was kind of just really up to me to make the decision on what kind of exercise I wanted to do. And like with the strength exercises on Peloton too, it's just like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, and one thing I really didn't like was there is no like the way that the instructors count, like hold this for, 10 seconds, you have 10 left, and they go like 10, 9, 8.5. I'm like, no, you're killing me.
Yeah.
But with these workouts, it's like at least I know the timer is very structured and set, and I know what to expect. So I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, cool. But this is all great feedback, by the way, in terms of just like the structure and the counting. I decided not to talk because I had a helmet on. You would basically just see someone hyperventilating the entire time if I was talking. So I will be sure to not talk. I'm actually getting ready to film a Swolby One Kenobi, which will be helmet off, but I might just throw on the mustache and the beard and just no talk, no talk, just
I mean, that's fine too.
yeah, quiet 12v1. So curious for you, biggest wins, right? You've been on this journey for a year. You've been absolutely crushing it. Um, yeah, what would you say are some of the things where you're like, man, this is freaking awesome?
I think Um, I was recording myself one day because I wanted to check my form, and I looked back and I'm like, I've never noticed like, the lines on my tummy, like, where there's like definition. I was like, where did this come from? And I just think it was just a whole year of doing these exercises. I'm like, okay, I'm trimming fat because I watched a video on, what's like a good protein snack, your golden rule. I never heard of that before. So really helped me to fit that into my diet by focusing on eating, making sure I eat enough protein. And so I think it was a lot of diet thing and having more strength training. Like I have more definition in my body that I've never had before, like throughout my entire life. So I think that's like one of the biggest wins is to see these weird lines appear. Like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Well, yeah, that was the first thing I said when I was, hadn't seen you in several months and was just checking progress photos. Like, holy cow, like freaking ripped. You're like looking like a Marvel superhero character pretty soon. Um, and I think that's honestly the best way. I love that was your experience because that's the best way to get results. Just like, cool, let's make it fun. Let's just do it for a year. And I'm gonna eventually like look in the mirror and be like, who's that? Oh, it's me. And like it sounds like that's what happened for you. Now you're like, you got mom of three, and you're like, oh, sweet, I'm more ripped than I've ever been. This is awesome. And it's just strength training, which is awesome that you did that.
I know it's awesome. I would go to school, like chaperone my kids' stuff, and they're like, "Come feel my mom's muscles, mom, flex, flex." I'm like, "All right," you know.
That's
And
awesome.
they're like, "Wow."
That's awesome. So for someone who was in your shoes, a year ago, what would you say the three keys to your success have been, and what would be your three pieces of advice for that person to focus on?
I think it's seriously just to start anywhere, find something that you know that you can do consistently and do it and have someone to do it with. I think that's what helped me a lot was just, these 20 minutes, 25-minute workouts. I can do it. I enjoy doing it. I know I will continue to do it. And I know I have someone to do it with me continuously. It really, really helped.
Yeah, that's
Was
huge.
that three? Sorry, I don't know. I wasn't counting.
I was thinking that was one where it's like find something
Oh,
to be consistent with.
darn it. Just start somewhere. Find something that works for you. Be consistent having a partner.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think the accountability of you and your husband is perfect because when you guys are aligned towards a goal, then you guys kind of create this kind of compounding effect of he's like, "Hey, let's work out." And you're like, "Oh, I don't want to." But then you're like, "Hey, let's work out." And then he does, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is just what we do. And the next thing you know, you guys are a year down the road, you've done a bunch of trooper workouts and doing push-ups with the kids on your back and gosh knows what else. Last question I'll leave you with favorite clone trooper.
Rex,
Rex.
hands down for sure.
Yeah, and you already gave us
I
the
know I should have wore his shirt today because it is May 1st, 501st, but I couldn't find it.
we got the 501st right here. There we go. No, that's I mean, great answer, and I should have thought about that. 501st, Captain Rex Day. So good call. Any other final words? Otherwise, we can let you go and send you on your way to go to get Django fit.
No, but just thank you for, putting these videos out. It's really been life-changing for myself and my family, and so we love it.
That's
I've
awesome.
been telling my friends all about it too. They think I'm crazy, but I'm like, just start somewhere. Just start small. Even if you don't like Star Wars, you can still do this.
Yeah, I always tell people it's still squats with weights. If I did it with a Iron Man mask on, it would still be the same intensity. So whatever your alter ego is, put on your cape and get after it. So Christina, great work. Keep it up, and we'll watch your career with great interest, as Palpatine
Thank you
said.
so much.
Happy May the 4th.
You too.